What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're taking a quick look here at Starfield running on the Legion Go. We'll be at 1200p upscaled 20 and 30 watts and 720p upscaled at 20 watts as well, just to get a general idea of what performance is like here. We'll be running 4 gigabytes of VRAM from the BIOS. Currently, we have 3, 4, and 8, but they are releasing a new BIOS that will allow 6. You could sideload that early if you wanted to, but I'm trying to stick with the official experience here with the Go. But let's jump into it here with 4 gigs of RAM, Starfield running on the Go. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be doing 1200p and 720p, 800p for a handheld, but my cap card's not really wanting to deal with that right now with Starfield. Our performance will be performance mode, which is 20 watts on the Legion Go, and then the OS performance mode or power mode is performance as well. For settings at 1200p, we're going to be using FSR2 with a 70% resolution scale, low on everything with motion blur turned off. Enabled VSR or VRS is off. Foam grain is all the way down, no depth of field on here. Now we're going to keep these same exact settings when we go into 720p, except we're going to go ahead and go up to 80% on our render resolution scale, still using FSR2, and these will just kind of give us a general idea of what we got here. So let's take a look at some comparisons of all of these modes as we get into it here. So 20 watts, 30 watts at 1200p upscaled as you saw in settings, and then 20 watts here running for the 720p. And of course, you're going to see a little bit better performance at 30 watts at the 1200 and even better performance at 720 on the 20 watts, which when I did a Starfield before on like the Ally, it was always about playing the game at 720p, 800p on the deck, and keeping settings low and bumping that resolution scale down as far as you can take it before the quality gets too low for you. And the game is also very CPU intensive as well, so there's only so much we can really squeeze out of it. But I think here you can see kind of what the differences are in our performance and why I would definitely want to go with that 720p range here. And I think performance mode on the Legion Go, it's really the mode I've been using the most. It's the red light on top of the Legion Go there, 20 watts when you're playing in handheld. When I'm plugged in, the 30 is nice, but depending on what resolution and what game, it's really going to depend on what performance bump you get there. And some of these areas like New Atlantis here are notorious for being very difficult to run and taxing the system, and even at 720p versus the 1200 upscale here, it is still pretty rough to run, but you can get closer to that 30 FPS locked experience here, except for maybe cities like Akil here, which we know are pretty tough to run, where even at the 720 you would suffer. You would have to bring resolution down even more, most likely, to really keep it up there, but it is better than the 1200p upscaled. So you are able to play Starfield on Legion Go, which I had no doubt you could because I've tested this on the Ally and the Steam Deck. It's just depending on how playable you consider it when you jump in. And we also aren't running any mods, so keep in mind there are a lot of great mods out there for these handhelds for Starfield that can really boost your performance another 5 to 10 FPS and flatten some of the frame times as well. And frame capping helps too. Out in space in areas like this, I just jumped into like a super busy area with a lot of NPCs to see how that would go, and to be expected, like other areas, the performance just kind of varies depending on what's happening on screen. There's even times there at the 1200p upscaled 30 watts, it does really well, but then it drops back down there. So yeah, it's just really going to depend on how you want to play Starfield on your Legion Go. And also, we're still running on those September drivers. It's the newest ones out on the site right now, but those are September when you install them. So newer drivers will also help a little bit as we go. BIOS updates and changes to how the system is running. It's really early days for the Legion Go, and doing game testing, it's pretty obvious that just like the Ally and other handhelds when they come out, they do need some smoothing and some work to really get the best performance and experience out of them. But for the most part, since the updates recently, I've been pretty happy with the Go here. Alright guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video as always. Just a quick look here at Starfield running on the Legion Go. Let me know if you guys have the Go and what your experience is like. Alright, thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.